to Couch Casual. Today, we are going to be doing our next division mock draft. In today's episode, we will be doing the NFC West, the Cardinals, the Niners, the Rams, and the Seahawks. Now, the one difference I'm going to make in this mock draft, division mock draft, and going forward is we're only going to be doing 5 rounds. I found myself in the last 2 rounds, round 6 and round 7, kind of just picking just for the sake of picking. I didn't know many people. I feel like it just made the video go on too long, and I also had to speed up all the other picks to get through the 7 rounds. So we're just going to be doing 5 rounds going forward, starting with the NFC West. And the first pick is the Cardinals at pick 3. I made this a constant pick in all of my mock drafts when it comes to the Cardinals at pick 3, and that has been Francis Mauigoa out of Miami. The Cardinals are in desperate need of tackle help, right? You got Paris Johnson as your left tackle, who they took in the first round in 2023, I believe. But I think you need, not only am I not 100% bought in on Paris Johnson, but I think you just need help on the O line regardless, right? Two of their needs are offensive line related, and Mauigoa is probably clearly the best tackle available. I mean, you could go Caleb Downs, you could even go Jeremiah Love, Sonny Styles, David Bailey, even maybe even get a receiver. But I don't think they necessarily need to go receiver. I still like Harrison, and you got Michael Wilson. I think the pick is Francis Mauigoa out of Miami to the Cardinals. Now we have the Rams at pick 13, because this is the pick they got from Atlanta. So normally I've been going corner for the Rams at pick 13, right? However, that's not really a need for them anymore because they traded for Trent McDuffie and they signed Jalen Watson. I think tackle could be an interesting place to look at for the Rams here. I don't know if there's any tackles worth taking because I think Fano, he might end up playing guard in the NFL, is what it seems like. You could go Monroe Freeling out of Georgia. That's always an option. I don't hate getting another receiver. I mean, if Carnell Tate's going to be here at pick 14, I really don't hate that. I think it's got to be linebacker or receiver. CJ Allen's here at 13. I'm going to go CJ Allen to the Rams at pick 13. It could have been Monroe Freeling, but when you look at their linebackers, it's Omar Spates and Nate Landman. They definitely could use an upgrade at that linebacker position. And maybe 14's a little, or 13 is a little high for CJ Allen, but I don't think it's too high considering who else was available. Niners are up at pick 27. So looking at their depth chart, they could use tackle because we don't know what's going to happen with Trent Williams, and even if he stays on the team, we don't know how much longer he even has left in the NFL. So they could use tackle help. They could honestly use some interior D tackle help as well. I like CJ West. I like Albert Collins. They did just trade for Osa Odighizuwa. So maybe your interior D line's pretty good. Could use a pass rusher. If you're not bought in on Michael Williams, get a guy alongside Nick Bosa. I like linebacker for them as well. Could use some secondary. Could honestly go receiver too. Here it says tackle, receiver, guard, edge, and safety. Could go Spencer Fano. Again, he might end up playing guard or tackle, but honestly, they could use both. So he gives you that versatility to probably play both. So I'm going to go Spencer Fano out of Utah to the Niners. As I said before in these mock drafts, I'm not going to take guys I'm not gonna not take players because they're likely not gonna be available at that pick. If they're available at the pick, then we're taking them. It's not my fault the computer didn't take Spencer Fano in the top 26 picks. So just keep that in mind. Seattle is next up at 32. I really like corner to Seattle. They don't need a lot, especially on defense. But I feel like the one position they could use help on defense, or the number one position they could use help on defense, is corner, especially because they lost Tariq Woolen. They did bring Josh Jobe back, and they could use safety too because they did lose Kobe Bryant to the Bears. Linebackers, not the craziest thing, but I like Drake Thomas. I like Ernest Jones. They don't need interior D line. Their offense could use a receiver, maybe some O line help, to be honest. Is there any safeties? AJ Halsey's the best safety. I probably want to take him here at 32. I think I'm going to go with Colton Hood, though, out of Tennessee to Seattle at 32. You got Enan as like your safety nickel, and then you have Josh Jobe and Devon Witherspoon. So I think they could use, and honestly, they could just use some depth too at that corner position. So I like Colton Hood at 32. Next, the Cardinals at 34. We got their franchise tackle, Malagoa, at number 3. They could keep adding, or franchise guard. Or no, he's tackle. So that's the other one. They could use a guard. We could go with Emmanuel Pregnon out of Oregon. I don't hate that pick at all. They could use some pass rush because outside of Josh Sweat, they don't have a lot. I mean, this team could use a lot, to be honest. The only thing they don't need is a tight end. It's literally the only position they don't need. Could go quarterback. Is Ty Simpson on the board? Ty Simpson's on the board at 34. The Jets did not take him. We could go Ty Simpson, but I think they're going to hold off on quarterback. And I think Ty Simpson gets taken. I know I said I wouldn't factor that in, but I don't think the Cardinals are going to look at Ty Simpson. I'm going to add to the offensive line, and I'm going to go with Emmanuel Pregnon out of Oregon. I think I did that in my 3-round mock draft earlier as well. Their line needs so much help, and you want to make sure that your next quarterback, whether it's Ty Simpson or someone else, your quarterback of the future, has a good situation, a good O line to play behind. So I'm not mad at all if they just go crazy, invest in that offensive line, and set up their future quarterback. Next, we have San Fran. Next, we have San Fran at pick 58. They went and got their they went and got Fano, tackle slash guard out of Utah. I think we look receiver. Oh, AJ Halsey's right. I was saying Niners could go safety. AJ Halsey doesn't make sense at pick 27, but he sure makes sense here at pick 58. So I'm gonna go AJ Halsey out of LSU. I think that's an easy pick for San Fran. The Rams are up at 61. They got CJ Allen at linebacker. They could go tackle, but all the good tackles that are round 2 guys are gone. So you're not looking tackle here. You could go with an edge rusher. I know Jared Verse is really good. I know Byron Young's really good, but you can never have too many good pass rushers. They could use a tight end, right? Because it's the Niners. You got Colby Parkinson and Tyler Higbee. They do have Terrence Ferguson. I like Terrence Ferguson. So maybe they don't go Max Clare here. You're probably not going to go with Dante Corleone, right? Yeah, no, you got Turner, Fisk, and Punafort. You're pretty good there. Do they go Elijah Surratt? Do they need a center? They got Coleman Shelton. I'm not too familiar with Coleman Shelton, so maybe we go with Sam Hecht out of Kansas State. It's him or Elijah Surratt. I think because you don't have a mobile quarterback in Matthew Stafford, I think you gotta go with that O line. So I'm gonna go Sam Hetched. I think I'm saying that right. I could be saying that wrong. Out of Kansas State. Seattle next at 64. We got their corner in Colton Hood. They could go pass rusher. They could go Malachi Lawrence. They could go safety. I think we go safety. They had an amazing secondary with Witherspoon and Bryant, Julian Love, and Tariq Woolen and Nick Amenwari. They lost Kobe Bryant. They lost Tariq Woolen. They draft Colton Hood, and now they draft Kamari Ramsey out of USC. We're going to have the Seahawks rebuild that secondary right back to what it was last year. But now they have two guys on starting their rookie contracts, as well as Nick Amenwari in year two of his rookie contract. So back to Arizona, they beefed up that O line with Malagoa and Pregnan. So now we can kind of shift our focus away from the O line here. And Malachi Lawrence is looking right at me out of UCF here, or LT Overton, either one, I think. Joshua Josephs too out of Tennessee, even Romello Height out of Texas Tech. You could honestly take your pick out of these four. I really like LT Overton out of Alabama, so you know what? Maybe they would take Malachi Lawrence here, but I think with these four pass rushers available, it just makes perfect sense for Arizona to go one of them. So I'll go LT Overton out of Alabama to the Cardinals. Next, we have the Rams back up at 93. They got a linebacker, they got a center. Do we go? Is there a receiver worth taking? I want to go receiver. There's CJ Daniels out of Miami, Antonio Williams out of Clemson. Could go one of those two. They don't need a corner. I don't think they need a tight end. I mean, CJ Daniels is probably the best guy they could use. Could go Keelan Rutledge and just keep going on that O line. But I'm going to go with CJ Daniels out of Miami because you got Puka, who obviously is one of the best receivers in the league. But outside of that, it's an old Devontae Adams. It's who else? Mumfield, Xavier Smith, Jordan Whittington. They don't really have much outside of their top two guys. They honestly could go receiver even earlier in the draft, so I don't hate going round three receiver. Seattle at 96. They got their corner. They got their safety. They could go running back and go Emmett Johnson. Who they signed a running back to back up Charbonnet. They signed Emmanuel Wilson. I like Emmanuel Wilson. I think he's a very good backup running back. Is he your backup running back of the future? I'm not sure, but he's a good backup running back. So I don't think they have to go with Emmett Johnson here. Do they need a guard? Because Keelan Rutledge is still unavailable. They have Zabel, who was a massive success for them. But you know what? We'll go guard here. Because the Seattle line still wasn't the greatest last season. So I'll go with Keelan Rutledge out of Georgia Tech. Cardinals are next at 104. We got a tackle, we got a guard, and we got an edge rusher. We could go Carson Beck. I don't think I'm gonna go with Carson Beck though. They could use what running backs are available. Seth McGowan out of Kentucky, maybe. I don't hate receiver. What's the Cardinals' receiver room? They obviously got Harrison and Wilson. They signed Kendrick Bourne, and that's about it. They got three guys that I trust. They have three receivers I trust, and that's about it. They did lose Jalen Thompson to the Cowboys. I think the Cowboys in free agency. So it's just Buda Baker. So maybe we go with Genesis Smith out of Arizona. I don't hate that at all. Or Bud Clark out of TCU. You know what? I'll go with Genesis Smith out of Arizona. They lost Jalen Thompson out in free agency. It's really just Buda Baker back there. They could really use some help at safety. So I like that pick. San Fran's back on the clock. They have a lot of picks late here. So they got a safety. They got a tackle. I didn't want to go pass rusher too early because I still think they believe in Michael Williams. I still believe in Michael Williams. We could go with Desha- Deshaun Stribling out of Ole Miss because they don't have a lot of receiver depth. It's just Mike Evans, Pearsall, and Christian Kirk. I do like they do still have Demarcus Robinson. So they got four receivers I'd say you can trust. But Mike Evans is older, and then Kirk and Demarcus Robinsons are like bridge guys. So maybe we go with Deshaun Stribling out of Ole Miss because San Fran has so many picks here in the 4 and 5 round 4 and 5. I'll go with Stribling. Speaking of San Fran, they're back up at pick 133. Do we go pass rusher here? We already got him a tackle slash guard because Fano, we not 100% sure what Fano's going to play. You know what? I'll go with pass rusher. I'll go with Tyreek Sapp out of Florida. And Niners are once again back on the clock with back to back. They have four round four picks. Okay. Do we get a backup running back for McCaffrey? They got some good guys there. Do we go with do we just get more O linemen and go Isaiah World out of Oregon? We'll go Isaiah World out of Oregon with their first fourth round pick. And then do we go Julian Neal? Do they need what's their corner situation? They got Lenore, they got Upton Stout, Renardo Green. That's not too bad. They also signed Nate Hobbs, which if he's healthy, that's a good corner. Good nickel corner. Okay nickel corner. Do we go I haven't given him a linebacker, have I? No. You know what? I saw his name pop up. I'll go with Aiden Fisher out of Indiana for my last pick for the Niners. Now my last pick for the Cardinals, we got Maui Goa, we got Pregnan, Overton, and Genesis Smith. So that kind of covers all of their needs here, according to this website, outside of quarterback and running back. Jaden Ott's right there. Drew Aller. We could go. Is Drew Aller the future quarterback for the Cardinals, or do we go Jaden Ott? Because looking at their running back room, it's just James Conner and Tyler. But they got Benson still, Bam Knight, Algier. I'm not going to go running back. I'm going to go Drew Aller to the Cardinals at 143. Maybe he's the future answer there in Arizona. And that's actually going to conclude it. Not a ton of picks here in the NFC West through the first 5 rounds, but as I said, that concludes our NFC West mock draft. Here are the Cardinals pick Francis Mauigoa at number 3, Emmanuel Pregnon at 34, LT Overton at 65, Genesis Smith at 104, and Drew Aller at 143. The Rams got CJ Allen at 13, Sam Hecht at 61, and CJ Daniels at 93. San Fran, Spencer Fano, AJ Halsey, Deshaun Stribling, Tyreek Sapp, Isaiah World, and Aiden Fisher. And in Seattle got Colton Hood, Kamari Ramsey, and Keelan Rutledge. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're new, and let me know in the comments section what you agree with or disagree with from this NFC West mock draft. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace.